Hi fellas, here's a quick tutorial on using KALALoca asset, which is a simplistic localization tool. In order for it to work, you will need to have TextMesh Pro in your project, at least in version 1.0. If you don't have it, just go to Window, Package Manager, and you can get it from there. I have prepared a very simple scene which basically has just two text components, one TextMesh Pro and one regular, and two buttons, one TextMesh Pro and one regular. Let us import our package now. Import package, custom package, KALALoca Unity package. Import all. Okay, as you can see, it's just some sample fonts, scripts, and localization table, which is an empty text asset. Let's go into scripts. You can see this script localizer. It does basically all the work. Let's create an empty game object and call it localizer. Localizer. It doesn't need to be empty. You can call it whatever you want. I'm just calling it like that. I'm adding localizer. It also creates Google Doc downloader. Don't worry about it. So as you can see, we have a couple of fields to fill in. The most important being this Google Sheet URL, because how the asset works, it just on startup, it downloads data from Google Sheet. And the cool thing about it is that then if you do some changes in the localization, like you found some typos or whatnot, you don't really need to push an update through Steam or wherever you publish your game, because it will happen automatically. The player won't even know about it if they have internet. So I have prepared a sample table. As you can see, it has this code on the left and languages descriptions on the and translations on the right. I have also this column with context, which you don't need to have. How the asset works is it will, for each text asset, we will give it a key and we'll look up, okay, which language do we have in the system right now? Okay, German. The key that we have is languages, English. English in German is English, and English? Yeah, English. Okay. Yeah. So let us just copy this link here. Now, save path is where our file will be saved. It's relative to persistent data path. I will just call it loca. And fallback text asset, let us just pull this thing here. This is used for some editor actions and also in-game when there's a case that the game has never been opened online, so the player never has downloaded the actual localization table. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for downloading and saving data. Now to fonts and assets, languages and fonts. So we can specify here which languages will be used for the system. I'm putting here 4 because I have 4 languages. I made it purposefully so that it doesn't take all the rows, because you may have a context column as I do, or maybe you have one language that is not finished yet, like you have half of the translations and you don't really want it to be put in the system. This is why we're putting manually which languages are actually gonna be used. So we're putting English, Polish, the order is not important, German and Latin. Right. As you can see, for each language we can specify which fonts it will use. This is particularly useful for languages like Chinese or other languages that use special characters, because you may want to use a different font for them. Let me just fill it in. okay. I filled it in. You don't have to. So basically, if you have if you don't want to change the font based on language, just leave all of it blank. If you want to change the font for only for some languages, but like for the most languages, leave the same font, then you can also here define the default font asset, which will be used when here those are blank. If you don't want to mess with the fonts and change them at all, just leave all of this blank, those font assets and those as well. This is default language. I put it to English. You can put whatever you want. Okay, so we're done here. Now, when we want our text to be localized, we have to go to the game object on which our text component is and add a script called KALA localizable text. As we can see, it has this key here. So we see main menu. Here we have main menu. We go to the Loca table. Okay, main menu has this key. So we just copy it and put it here. And now, just to show you guys that it works, I need to add here update language script. So when we start the scene, nothing happened. Okay, we still have English because this is our default language. We haven't changed it. This small script, it just changes the language for us. So I will just put German and bam, Polish, bam, it works. So now you would probably expect we need to do the same thing for the rest of the buttons, but I actually have a method of automatizing it. So when we click here, we can see that it adds automatically those components to all text-based objects. Yeah, so that we also have this button auto generate keys, which basically checks what text is there in a text field of the text component and searches if in the localization table there is any row in which this text appears, and if there is, it takes the key and puts it into the localizable text. Very important thing about it is that we have to have started the scene at least once for it to work, because it uses this fallback text asset, and this updates when we start the scene. As you can see, it was empty at the beginning. Now we have text here. So when we go to our localizer and just click auto generate keys, it puts the correct keys here automatically. Now when we start the scene and we update the language, it changes everything, right? An important thing for those of you who code is to show you how this script works, and it's just very easy. It just checks if this language that you put in is available, and if it is, it just sets the language of the localizer. The localizer does all the rest. So you can use it basically from any script. The final thing that I want to show you is that I prepared a script that you can directly apply to a dropdown. Let us just add the Text Mesh Pro dropdown. It can be a regular dropdown. Let's put it here, and let's just add a Kala localization language choice dropdown. Now when we start the scene, it automatically gets languages that are available in their own language already translated, because this is how we actually do. And when you click on it, it does the translation without any other problems. Yeah, so that was it. Thank you for watching.